morning, students. I'm glad you're watching your video. Hopefully this will help you with some of your math problems. Let's start with prayer and then we'll look over your homework. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. I thank you for loving us and caring about each thing in our lives. Help us to please you in the things that we do, in our decisions and the way we talk, how we treat others. I thank you for answering our prayers and loving us enough to provide your salvation. Thank you again for all the things you've done for us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Hopefully you've got your book open to page 94. We did the evens in class yesterday, and hopefully you understood all those and did well on your odds. So let me give you some answers here. On 94, number 1, you did have the odds right. All of a sudden I just went brain dead. Yes, yours is the odds. All right, number 1, 12.48. Number 3, 9 is 18% of what number? Remember, it's 9 over 18%, and change your decimal over, or you can write 9 divided by 0.18, and then move your decimal out of the way and add some zeros. Should have gotten 50 for number 3. Number 5, 17%. 7 is 100% of what number? Any number by 100% is that same number. You know, that's what we talked about in some of our word problems when it says that how much more did they have, then we know that they started at 100% of the number and then added to that. So anything by 100% is that same number. So that should have been easy. Number 7, when you add all those together, you get 243.34. On number 9, you had to annex a couple of zeros. Don't be embarrassed to borrow and carry and cross out, so you make sure that you don't forget that you borrowed. Okay, so that one's 2.191. Number 11, 4.7385. And there was a 0 there, but you exit out for your final answer. On number 13, I put that one on the board because I know it seemed really easy, but if you don't follow the steps, sometimes you flip it wrong. Remember, you have to use the inverse of the second number, only the second number. Okay, so this one improper fraction was made, this mixed fraction was made in improper fraction of 3 over 2, and then this is already a 3 over a 1 when it's division. So when you multiply, you have to use the inverse. So you got 1 over 3, the 3's cancel out, and you have a half. So that one should have been really easy if you remembered to flip that second term. Okay? Turn your page over if you don't have your book all the way open like me. All right, well, we were looking at the chart. Hopefully you got these right also. On number 15, I always look at it first to see if it's an increase or a decrease. And 28 to 24 goes down, so I wrote decrease out there, and then do your math. So 28, its percentage is 14%. Okay? All right, remember your base is always your original number, so that would have been your 28. All right, and on the next one, number 17, from 33 to 30, again, is a decrease, so write your word down there and do the math. That one was 9%. Number 19, from 25 to 19, again, was a decrease. So when you did the math, 25 is your base, 19 as your numerator, you get 24%. So if you were here, I'd say raise your hand if you got 100%. But where are you? You're missing. I do miss you guys. I look forward to us being back together after next week. All right. If you have any questions about your homework, send me an email. You do have a quiz today. I sent it to your parents yesterday. So if you would wait till the video lesson is finished, because we're going to review some things. It may jog a memory. We did a lot of review yesterday. I put all of the information on this side of the board. So if you need to go back and look at that video, you can. Just kind of review all the stuff that was there, and then take your quiz at the end of the lesson, so that way you'll remember how to do a lot of those different problems. All right, if you were here, we would be doing flashcards. See how fast you can answer those questions, but we've done them many, many times. So we're going to go right into our lesson today. It's not a very complicated lesson, and we'll be done in time for you to do your homework. Hopefully you'll do it while you're there practicing, and also to take your quiz before this hour is over. Okay, we're going to talk today about finding discounts. okay? So put up here, everybody likes to shop, whether it's guys wanting to get the latest tennis shoes or girls wanting to get the latest fashion. So we love to shop, but we need to know exactly how we're shopping and how the discounts work. So this is what we're going to talk about today. If you have a list price, that means what is on the ticket, you know, your little sticker when you're going to go shopping. The list price was $80, but the rate of discount is 15%. Any of y'all look for the racks, you know, that already say sale at the top or discount? We like those, okay? But remember, when you have a rate of discount, that's the money that you're not going to pay, okay? So when you start doing these problems and you multiply by 15%, that is not your answer. You've got to do one more step, because what you found out when you multiply by 15% is what you're not going to pay. That's the money you're actually going to save that you get to keep. So you have to do some subtraction to find out what you really are going to have to pay to the store owner, okay? And so you rewrite this kind of 15% of 80, and we know when we have of, that means multiply, easy, we love that, okay? Move your decimal over twice, because you can't work with it when it has a percent there. So we get 15% times, you know it's times because of the of, 80, I'm going to hang my 0, 0, 40, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we have to move our decimal over twice, 1, 2, and then in your final answer, you wouldn't show your zeros, it would just be 12, and we're talking about dollars, so make sure you put a dollar sign there. Okay, is 12 my answer? Hopefully you were listening a while ago. When you find this, this is not your answer. This is how much money you're not going to pay, okay? So, if in the blank, they're going to ask you, how much do you have to pay? All right? You're not going to pay 12. What do we have to do with that 12? We got to go back to our $80, and we're going to subtract what you don't have to pay. This is your discount. That's exciting. And so then you borrow and so the amount of money that you're actually going to pay is $68. It sounds real simple, but a lot of times y'all get in a hurry and you want to hurry and finish, and you do the proper math, the 15% of 80, and then you're done, and you think you're finished. But you got to think in your brain. When you're finding rate of discount, think in your brain, this is what I'm not going to pay. So that is not your final answer. You want to find out what you are going to pay. This is what you are going to pay. You are paying $68. Okay? Easy, right? You guys got this, I know. All right, let's look at your book. Hopefully your book's still open to where the homework ended at page 95. Okay? Let's read together, or you can read faster, but hopefully I can explain it as we're talking about it. A discount is a reduction in the list price. Okay, this is the reduction minus. We're reducing the list price, how much it was originally. Okay, the rate of discount is the percent of discount. Use these steps to find the sale price, discounted price. Find the amount of discount by multiplying the list price. This is your list price, that's on what's on the tag, by the percent of discount. We multiplied it over here. Here's the tag, sorry. Here's how much it was on your tag, $80, times the percent of the discount, written as a decimal. We switched it to a decimal. Since the amount of the discount is the percentage, use the steps for finding a percentage of a base. Okay, so we went ahead and multiplied it. Now we have 12. This is what we're going to save. We don't have to pay $12. Find the sale price by subtracting the amount of discount from the list price. And then we came over here. Mr. Baker bought a CD player that was 12% off the list price of $500. Find the sale price. Okay, just like we did on the board, 12% of 500. So 0.12 times 500 is $60. Drop off your zeros when you put your final answer. Take your zeros and subtract it from 500. Now, in one of your quizzes, if it actually shows 50 cents, okay, and it has some the pennies there, Then when you do your $60, you do have to line up your decimal, okay, and annex zeros, okay? So you don't always have to drop those zeros. It depends on what you're subtracting from, okay? But if it's just 0 pennies, subtracted 0 pennies, save some time and don't write your zeros, okay? Alright, and then you see here where they subtracted it, and so the sale price that you have to pay out of he had to pay out of his pocket was $440. Yay, you saved 60 bucks. Okay, the next little piece down there shows you another way to work it, and it's similar to what we did when we say how much more or how much less. You can do it either way, whichever one makes more sense to you. They both work. In this one, instead of waiting and subtracting at the end, we multiplied, found this, and then subtracted. What they did is another way to do it. They subtracted at the beginning. They went ahead and took 100% minus 15%. Well, on this one it'd be 100% minus 15%, and then multiply by that. In your problem, they took 100% minus 12%, which was the problem here, so they had 88% left, and then took 88% times 500, and when you do that, they come up with the answer right away. So you can either subtract here at the end of your problem, or you can subtract at the beginning of the percentages, and then multiply by the right percent that would give you the cost that comes out of your pocket, okay? All right, let's look at this chart. I'm gonna do a couple of these with you, and then we'll pause the video so that you can do some on your own, and then we'll come back and check your work, okay? On this chart, when you do it, what you wanna do in stepwise, the rate of discount is what you wanna work with first. I almost wish they would have put that first on your on your chart here, okay? So we have a wristwatch. The rate of discount is 25%. In my book, I put a little 1 over this column just so that I would know that I need to work this part first and then work the next part. Okay, so 25%, you want to convert it into a fraction. Y'all know this one, so this is nice. So I went into a 4, okay? And then you're going to multiply it by the first box, a 4, times 140 over 1, okay? And then on this one, it cancels out. 4 cancels out. It goes into 14, 3, 5. So your answer on this one is $35. Okay? Now put that in the column where it says amount of discount. Okay, this is how much money you're not paying. That's how much you're gonna save. It's not how much you're paying the customer. That's not the amount of money that you're paying the store owner to be able to take home the fancy pair of shoes that you got, whether tennis shoes or cute shoes. All right, so that's not your final answer. That just says what you saved. You're not gonna have to pay that much. So we still gotta do the next step. So you go back to column 1. The regular price was $140, and now we're gonna subtract what we saved, $35, and when you do that math, you get $105. Okay, so this is your final answer. This is how much you're gonna pay. Okay, the original list price was $140. You saved $35 because of this discount. This is how much you saved, and so you subtract it, and then this is how much you have to pay. All right, hopefully that's clear, because I want you to do 2 through 6 on your own, and we'll come back and check your answers. Please don't just wait for me to give you the answers. Really work these. It'll help you when you get ready to do your quiz at the end of today, or at the end of this hour, and for your exam next week. Okay, pause the video as long as you need. I'm going to get a drink of water. Hopefully you did all the things kind of like this one here on the board. I'll move to the side so you can kind of see it again. On number 2, the necklace was $95 at 33% discount. Guess what? You know that fraction also, okay? Just like 25% you knew was a fourth. On 33, we know 33% is a third. So you could do a third times 95, And of course, those cancel out. 3 goes in 95. No, it doesn't. You have to do the math on this one. 95 divided by 3. Let's do this one on the board together. Squeaky. Okay. Remember, we're looking for dollars on this one, so we may not have to annex anything, but I think we will. 3 are going to 9 3 times. And bring down your 5. 3 are going to 5 1 time. 2, put a decimal here. Annex a 0, because we're looking for money, so we want to keep going. 3 are going to 20 3 times. 3 and 3, wait, more than that. 3. 3 and 3 is 9. Something here is wrong. And y'all see it already, and I'm going, what? Not 6, but 5 times 3, 15. Ah. 6. I know you are chomping at the bit over there, doing it all on your own, doing great. Ah, and then we're going to start repeating. Okay? So on number 2, when I did this on my own, I got it right the first time, 95, that looks weird. Okay. The amount of discount, may have needed to divide by 0.33 because it comes out being a little bit less than this. It comes out to be 31 and 35 cents. Let's do it that way. We got some time today. We'll be taking 95 divided by 0.33 and see how this comes out differently. Move this over twice. Put the next 2 zeros. 33 will go into 95 3 times. Bring down a 0. Goes into that. Ah, guys, you're probably sitting there, Miss Morrison, you're supposed to be multiplying. Good gracious. I'll get my thinking cap on here in a minute. $95 times 0.33. I couldn't figure out why that wasn't coming out right. Okay, 15. What's that? 27, 28? Ah. There we go. So much better when you do your math right. Sorry about that. So you are going to multiply. Y'all got it a long time ago. So that goes in your amount of discount. And then when you take your original 95 minus 31.35, remember you have to line up your decimals. 31.35. So you have to annex some zeros. And we are supposed to be subtracting this. So the answer on that one sale price is $63.65. All right, on the next one, on your ring, when you multiply 228 times 1.5, multiplying, you get 3420, and then you subtract that from 228 and get 193.80. All right, on your clock, 18 times 1.2 gives you $2.16. Subtract that from 18, and you get $15.84. On the next one, 10%. Hopefully you didn't do any multiplication, because when you have a 0, you just move your decimal one time. 1 0, move your decimal 1. So automatically on the amount of discount, you should already have $22.90, and then subtract that from 229 and get $206.10. And then this last one, 25 times 0.075, and that gives you $1.88. Subtract $1.88 from $25, and you get $23.12. I'm sure y'all did 10 million times better than I did up here on the board, but I'm glad y'all are getting it. Turn your page to 96. Let's look at problem solving. Let's do these together. Let's see if you can think through some things. Have your pencil ready if you don't already, because there's some words that I want you to circle so that they pop out at you and you think about what kind of math problem you're going to set up on these, okay? 2 years ago, the Howards bought a van for $27,500. Today, the value of the van has decreased. So already, you need to know that there's going to be some kind of subtraction going on. It's got to be, your number has to be smaller than $27,500. Decreased by 35%. What is the value of the van? Okay? So on this one, you can do it either way. You can multiply by 0.35 and then subtract. In my book, I did it the other way just so you have another way to look at it. One way to do it is take 27,500 times 0.35. And when you get this answer, you still have to do a subtraction. Then you go 27,500 and subtract your answer here to get your final answer. Okay? Or you can do your subtraction at the beginning. You can take 100% of what this was and subtract the 35%. And when you do that, you have 65%, okay? And then you can take your 65% times the amount of money, 0.65, and you can do that multiplication and get your answer at $17,875. Okay? So anytime you see decrease, I circled decrease in my problem, you may want to too. You know there's got to be a subtraction somewhere, okay? You can either go straight out and do the multiplication and then subtract to get your answer, or you can subtract at the beginning, your 100% minus whatever that discount was, get 65%, and then when you multiply, this is your final answer. So whichever one is easier for you, they both work great. You want to go for accuracy and speed, okay? Look at number 2. Tyler bought a jacket that regularly cost $96. It was discounted. Circle the discounted. Last time it was decreased was the word. This time it's the word discount. Still makes you think of subtraction. 40%. What did Tyler pay for the jacket after paying a sales tax rate of 8%? So there's 3 different things that are going to go on in this one. First of all, you got to find out what was the discount. Then you have to subtract. Then you have to add in the sales tax. Figure out what the sales tax is. So let's do this one together real quickly. And when y'all have already got it worked out, okay, I'm going to subtract at the beginning. 100% is how much it was. The $96 is 100%. And then subtract your 40%, that was the discount. Okay, when you subtract that, you get 60%, okay? Then you change that into a decimal, 0.6, and multiply by your original amount to find out what the answer is. Sorry for your discount. So when you multiply this, you end up getting 675, move it over one time. Okay, so when you do it this way, this is your final answer because we've already done a subtraction here. So here's your final answer. You need to make it look like money, $57.60. But now they also said, what did Tyler pay after paying the sales rate of 8%. Okay, so we've got to increase it by 8%, okay? 8% is normally written like this, so 0.08. Okay, let me tell you something. I think I told y'all this before. If you multiply it just by that, again, you've only found out what the taxes were, okay? You would have to add it back in once you finish doing your multiplication. But you can save a step if you know it's a tax that has to be added back in or a percent that has to be added back in. Once you move your decimal over here, put a 1 right there. And that automatically adds it back in, okay? And so when you do that, you get $62.21. If you choose to do it by 0.8, I like putting the 1 in there so I don't have to do it. When you get this answer, you have to add it back to this number to get your final answer. Okay? So you can either add the 1 and it automatically adds it back in, or you can multiply the tax. You found out how much the tax answer was, then add the tax answer back to this one, and then you have your final answer once you add it. 62.21. Number 3. In April, Mr. Torres sold 18 bikes. This month he sold 50% more. There's your more, circle it. We know we have to get it bigger. The number's got to get bigger. Bikes, more bikes than he did in April. How many bikes did he sell this month? Okay, if you just multiply it by 50%, you're not going to add it back in. Again, just like I added this 1 right here, that adds it back in. We're going to do the similar thing to it this time. Okay, so we have more means you're going to have 100% of the 18 bikes. And you have a 50% increase or more. So this ends up being 150%. Move your decimal over twice, you end up with 1.5. Notice how it automatically put a 1 in there? That's why we do that 100%, similar to what we did before. And then 1.5 times 18, and you get 27 bikes. Okay? Number 4. Mrs. Watson is on a diet. She needs to lose 75 pounds. Ooh, that would be nice. She has lost, circle the word lost. There's a lot of different words that mean less. Okay, we had decrease, we had discount, and now we have less. All of those imply subtraction because the number has to go down. Okay, lost 40% of the weight. How many more pounds must she lose? Okay, so again, lost 100% minus 40% gives you 60%, okay? And then 60%, 0.6 times 75 will give you 45 pounds, okay? On number 5, Jaden won 18 games and lost 12 games. How many games did they play all together, okay? Remember when you do one like this proportion or ratio, you have to figure out how much the total is and then find the other part. So sometimes they say you won 18 games and they played 32 games. Well, if they told you they played 18 games and 12, set it up, okay? And then you can reduce that to 2 over 5, and you have this memorized as 0.4, and then you just move your decimal over 2 times. Those memory things are really nice. Don't forget to move it twice and annex a 0 so that you get the right answer, okay? You can also check your answer on this one too. If it says how many did they lose? If they lost 40%, then 100 minus 40 should give you the other ones that they had won. Okay, they didn't ask for that, but that's a good way to kind of check. Okay, number 6, Miss Gray paid $100.70 for a dress. The price included 6% sales tax. What was the cost of the dress before the sales tax? Okay, on this one, because it says it included the sales tax. So put included, that means it's got in there, it's gotta be more, sales tax in there. So circle included, that might help you remember. Okay, so 100% again of the dress cost $100.70. Okay, and then there's a 6% sales tax, so you're gonna put 6% tax. So 106%, change your decimal, 1.06, okay? And then this time we have to divide, because we wanna find out how much it was without the sales tax, okay? So it's gonna be a less figure. If you have the total price here, and you subtract your tax, it's a smaller number. Okay, so that lets you know you have to divide. Okay, so on this one we're gonna put $170 divided by, I lost my place, 1.06. And when you do that, you know you've got to move it over twice. We have to move it over twice. So now your decimal's right here, and there's no decimal there. 100 won't go into 100, 106 won't, so we gotta go all the way to this place. So 106 will go into 1,700, because there's no decimal here anymore either, 9 times. So 9 times 6 gets you 9, 5, let me line it up, 4, there we go. 4, 5, 9, there we go. And when you subtract, you get 5, 3, bring down your 0. How many times will 106 go into 530? 5 times, make sure you keep everything lined up so you get the right number. And then 5 times 6 is 30, 35, end up with 0. And we didn't really need the decimal after all, but it's nice to put it there so you don't forget in case you need to keep going, because we got to 0, and now we know that the answer is $95. What was the cost of the dress before the sales tax? And you can go back and check your work again on this one, because if you're not sure, take $95. That's how much the dress was before taxes. You want to check your work, multiply by the tax. What was the tax? 6%. And when you do that, you should come up with the original number that they gave you. And that's how you can check it to make sure you got your work right on that one. Alright guys, unless you have questions, you can email me some. We're done with my part today. I want to look over sharpening skills just real quickly to jog a memory in case there's something you don't know here. Make sure you have your pencil ready, because I'm going to have you circle some things. But of course, sharpening skills will be your homework tonight. Number 1 through 22. Several word problems at the bottom, so let's look over these real quickly. On some of those, 1 through 10, you may really need to put those on notebook paper, because you have to still do the math to see if it is a true or a false. Okay. Some of them you may be able to just look at, don't guess, really figure it out and do that. 11 through 16, you're going to need notebook paper. Number 12 is one of those that you can get to 100 on the in the base, so you can figure it out that way by multiplying something to get it to 100 on the bottom. Number 17, remember on this one, you're going to do 100% plus 6.5%. Write it as a decimal first and add them together so you'll know how to multiply. On number 18, it's pretty straight out. Number 19, again on this one, when you get your base set up as 20, then you can also multiply by 5 and get your base to 100, so you know the price without really having to do a lot of math. You do have to do some subtraction, because notice on this one you want to find out how much you save. If he saved 20% off the original price, find the original price and the sales price. So you're gonna have to subtract once you find out how much you saved. 20, this one works really nice if you put them over each other, 44 over 88, and then reduce down to 11 over 0.22, remember it's 0.88, and then do your division, and it's a little bit shorter, faster. 21, circle the word discount. So remember that once you find it somewhere, you have to have some subtraction, either at the beginning, 100% minus something, or at the end to find your final percent, okay? And then the last one, again, circle the word percent. A lot of times when you see the word percent, 99% of the time that means small divided by large. You've heard me say that a lot, small divided by large. This will always give you a percent answer, because this causes you to have to put a decimal in 3 places to see if it'll round. Or you could do small divided by large. Either way, the smallest number goes first, and then the large number on the bottom, it automatically throws it into. And then you can see if you can reduce it before you do all the long division, or see if you can get the bottom to go to 100, because then your numerator is your answer. Numerator. Okay? And if not, then you have to go ahead and do your long division. Okay? Alright, well I hope you do really well on your quiz today. I look forward to seeing those later today when your proctor gets to email those to me. And if I won't talk to you till Monday. Have a great weekend. And I wish we were here, but I'll see you on Monday. Bye.